30 days or so after we get the SCABC up and running, and when we find out what that the match is in place, because we are not going to issue these bonds until we know we got an out.
Okay. All right. What's the status of securing labor-based contractors and equipment? Tuskegee, is that a question for you?
Yeah, I mean, we're working right now. We've obviously put out an RFP to the street. We're looking at those numbers right now. We're hoping to get the selection process completed here in the next week or two.
What's the display of this? The RFP?
I'm sorry?
What cities were the RFPs released in?
It was just an RFP. It wasn't city specific.
How was it
So,
announced?
how was it announced?
The RFP itself,
Yes.
we reached out to organizations that did this type of work, worked in the state right away, collected those vendors, went through a qualifying process, and ultimately sent out an RFP to those organizations.
Can you socialize, can you send that to with us?
There was part of the benefit that occurred before that was the Georgia, is it MBE and Alabama MBE and Small Business Administration. That's when they created a pool of possible candidates. And part of that benefit was those vendors and subcontractors came in to better understand the project. And then that's hence where some of those firms that received the RFP.
And if you want to list those companies, we have that list.
Yeah, that's all.
Was that distributed through any media outlets that you know of?
No.
Okay, we just wondered if it's widespread. Okay, what's the status of negotiating the tower lease agreements?
We are working on the wireless design as we speak.
Okay.
Towers, locations have been identified based on the cities that we're going to. And so there's going to be a component of the design that needs to be put together, and that will dictate the cell tower location with the application, and the design for those locations will be solidified in that component.
Okay, so if anyone knows of the tower, they should get in touch with you?
Well, I have the tower, I mean, we have the towers identified.
Okay.
And there are four specific 6 markets that we're going into.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not building towers.
No, we're not.
Right, I was wondering if there are any current radio towers that could co-locate or anything like that, if they should get in touch with you, or you're going with the FCC registered
Yeah, we're
towers.
going with actually talking to actual tower owners in the general vicinity of the locations that we're going to.
Okay, all right. How many jobs have been created to date, and in which counties are they?
Less than 10, because we cannot break ground or do anything in the project unless we get the letter from the federal government. Now we've added some back office people, clerical types to the project to get us handle the paperwork. But the preponderance of the jobs to be added won't occur until we actually get the letter from the guests.
When you say that,
It's the environmental assessment letter that says we're not touching anything or destroying anything historical, protected, though any burial grounds will be harmed, which is part of the 2,200-mile walk-off we did, with pictures showing where we're going from building to building and from county to county. The federal government takes that document, culls through it, and says, okay, fish and wildlife, good, historical, good, Indian mounds, good. We'll prepare a letter for you to go forward. The letter is our authority to break ground.
What kind of impact do you plan to have economically? You know, for the representative for children
Yes.
of age 7, students in the state for sure. But most of them have moms, dads, and grandparents.
Yes.
I'm wondering what kind of economic impact this project is going to have on families that are represented on the state school board, given this era of probation that we find ourselves so deeply in.
First of all, the project that we are responsible for is strictly placing the fiber in the ground. It's fiber. Right.
Okay.
So we got to dig holes.
Okay.
We got to bore the rivers and streams and attach the pole lines. We've got to have installers that's going to run a jumper from the above ground enclosure to the side of your house.
Training for these kind of people.
Right. So we're going to have job fairs. Like we have 1 or 2 already. job fair, we're going to bring in people from the community and say, here are the jobs that we intend to fill in this project over the next year and a half, next 2 years. So if they are, and we will promote it through the various papers and trade magazines and use the Department of Commerce as well.
Yeah, I was thinking about things like, that's about training for these individuals that you might need when you have, the need for impact, input or the services of community colleges, for example.
Right. Good question. So if we need technicians, 100 technicians to do the installs, there's got to be a training mechanism in place to ensure that it's done consistently. So we will have a mechanism in place where we'll train people. We're also bringing in 50 or so contractors to bury fiber. There's got to be a systematic, consistent way the fiber has to be placed. So there will be a training session set up to make sure that happens.
But these jobs are basically here to be, and to help Alabamians.
Yes, that's correct. Right.
Okay.
And minority businesses. So in those cases where we cannot find a construction company, minority business that buries fiber, we may have to go to Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi. At the end of the day, the fiber is going to be placed.
Yeah, and let me tell you what I need from you, that is the case.
Yes.
If that's the case, I really would like to know what kinds of people you're looking for, because I'd like our two-year college, technical colleges to know exactly what you need, because I think we are, my company is all I work for right now. And I'd like to know what you need so I can see if we can help to prepare.
And I think that has been HB's and Trillian's plan is to really work through the junior colleges and the universities in Alabama. From what I've heard, their plan really is to use Alabamians to identify people.
Reed State is a strategic partner with us.
Who is, I'm sorry?
Reed State.
Reed State, Reed Technical College.
And they are actually, it cannot change, they are actually going to be heading the workforce portion of the grant.
Okay.
So
They are.
The community college are already involved.
Okay, good.
When I introduced myself earlier, I did say that it was a 20-year journey, and Mr. Brown said that the construction component was a 2-year journey, and I'm in agreement with that. But to just let you know, Ms. Bell, there are a lot of aspects of community and economic development planning around that has already been done. I know by my company, I've interacted with SCAD, though I haven't met the gentleman related to SCAD. I've interacted with multiple cities because my company developed an economic and community development project, and then went to Georgia and found that expert over there who is almost asleep, Mr. Larry Morrow. And from there, the need for quality construction was determined over a course of multiple iterations, multiple efforts, through multiple counties and cities throughout the Black Belt. So from the standpoint of Mr. Brown saying they're here to do construction, we're here to make sure from that construction we grow from this as a collective city.
Sure.
And I would like to share, as I indicated when I introduced myself, an economic development plan that's been put together over a course of 20 years that's led to this final 2-year process that I can believe will maximize the potential and the opportunities for all of the Black Belt, not just the first 8 counties, but the community and economic development plan starts with an aspect of some portion of the Alabama Black Belt, it doesn't matter. But the Black Belt of the United States of America is defined as a 623 county, 11 state component. And I do know that I went with Mr. Morrow to meet the advisor to the president for for science and innovation and technology at the time, Ms. Susan Crawford. And she asked us, can this serve as a model for the nation? And the answer is yes, because there's 20 years of planning, though there's 2 years of construction. And I'd like to definitely receive everybody's contacts, because I've worked with SCAD over the course of the years when I was a city engineer at Tuskegee, and for many years, it takes a lot more planning. As the doctor says, this is way more than a construction project. It's an economic renaissance. And I love it.
And I think it would be good for all of you to have a follow-up meeting as a community do once this network is built, the fiber is the ground, it's just fiber. We have to come together as Alabamians and make this fiber something, and benefit the communities and everything. So that's many follow-up meetings and collaboration and networking and dreaming and seeing a vision for what can happen with this, because really the sky's the limit on what this network can do once it's in place.
I'd just like to encourage her and anyone else then to participate in the regional planning process that we're currently undertaking through Connecting Alabama. What we're trying to do is identify short-term projects that can bring that training and that knowledge base to the community that doesn't currently access it. In this black belt, we've got 64% that don't have access. And of that 64%, 70% don't want it.
Sure.
Because they don't understand it. So participate with us and help us develop this project that will be beneficial to you. And I'll get you my card afterwards.
Hey,
We're doing
Ned
that
Butler.
right now.
I worked with Ned Butler for years, he's retired, but this was developed in 2001, so I was here.
Yeah, and that is a statewide structure that is in place, meetings that go on all the time, and so it is a good forum.
Is this the, what chapter,
Connecting Alabama.
Yes, and that's.
do I mean, does it come to the state workforce development, governance workforce
No,
development?
ma'am, it's within a decade now, but it is, we're working with it as well.
Yes. Senator Sanders, do you have a comment, and we'll
I
go through
do.
the rest of these?
I do. I have to leave. I have to be in Montgomery by 1 o'clock. If I don't, they'll do some things.
Do some-
But no, what I wanted to say is one of the key things here is to have an entity where the public really can be involved. And whenever I listen, it seems to me like the LLC is a mechanism that will cut the public out in some kind of way, and I'm very concerned about that. And I leave on that note. I'm not going to wait for any response, but if that's going to be the case, then that's probably going to be a real fight. So we ought to think about that. The public ought to be involved.
And Senator Sanders, our final note to you is, will you please go to Montgomery and resolve the budget issue? Thank you.
You don't just want it resolved, you want some money.
Thank you,
If
Senator.
I don't go out here and get something to eat, you're going to have to call down.
Okay, yes, we have got to move through this, and we're getting right down. A lot of these questions have been resolved already. Let's talk about the broadband inquiry. We'll bring you in here. Okay, we've already talked about how many cities and counties at this point have been included. Yet the answer was 6 counties and 4 municipalities. And the others were given a resolution. They need to review that resolution and sign it, submit it, so that they can have a seat on this authority. Is that correct?
We are prepared to come to them, and they are the Commission Board of City and Health.
Okay. And you are the contact person, Dr. McCall, for this? Okay, yes.
I think it also needs to resolve every county municipality that the county be a member of. They're saying that was county, all the municipalities in that county will have,
Right, exactly. And Mr. Wood, could you reiterate again, how will each county know how many voices they get on this board?
Every county.
We'll get one voice.
We'll get one voice. And we have to structure how the cities will be represented. Because we've got some counties that got 10 cities, some counties that got 3 cities, 4 cities. Now, I have some models as to how to do that, but I think we need to do that and we develop the bylaws together when we start to get the members to come.